Welcome to the Coffee and Turner Syndrome podcast,
where we talk all about Turner Syndrome.
I'm Brooke.
I'm Andrea.
Now let's hop
into today's episode.
Guys, welcome back to the podcast.
Hello.
So, we have a very interesting kind of almost creative writing prompt to talk about today.
Yes.
Are there any updates we want to share before we jump into that?
Well, I would just say bear with me because I'm actually recouping. I'm doing good, but I'm recouping because I had COVID last week.
Oh
So
no!
yeah, I'm recovering a little bit from that, but I'm doing okay.
That's good.
So yeah, I'm over the worst part, but I still have a little bit that's kind of lingering, like the cough and stuff that takes a little bit to kind of go away a little bit.
Yeah.
But doing much better. So yes. But other than that, doing pretty good. How about you?
Good, chaotic, but good. We move at the end of this next week, and so my life has literally just been packing boxes. That and like running around doing everything else I need to keep up with, just daily life stuff. So
Yes, moving is exhausting,
it is, and
especially when you're moving a family too.
I don't understand how I thought it was a good idea to have this much stuff. There's way too much
Yes,
stuff. I own way too many things. And it's just silly.
I know it's amazing how much stuff like realize that you have when you're in that process of
Yeah.
packing and everything. Mm-hmm.
So
Oh yeah.
that's what I've been
Well,
dealing with.
hopefully it will go well.
I hope so. Okay.
Exciting new stuff.
Yes. Yes. So much.
Yeah.
There's the work to move, and then there's the work to get everything set up. It's gonna be a whole other
Yes.
level.
Whole
So,
other chore.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
So we are writing a letter to our younger selves.
Yes. Yeah. So it is going to be a letter to our younger selves, basically what we wish we had known when we first found out we had Turner syndrome. And I say found out because I was diagnosed so early, my parents had to tell me. I was a baby. I didn't hear it like, because some women are older when they can actually hear the doctor say, "Oh, it's Turner syndrome." That was not it for me. My parents had to tell me because I was a
Yeah.
baby when it happened. I started thinking about like what do I wish I had known then. I think the first thing I would say I wish I had known is that things will look different because of it than I had wanted them to, but I will be happier than I thought I would be with things looking different than I thought I wanted. That sounds convoluted and wordy, but I hope that makes sense. That I would
Yeah.
survive by things not looking how I thought they needed to.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
Because I feel like so much of what Turner syndrome does affects like what you expect because you're expecting what's the average normal experience, and Turner syndrome kind of turns that on its head for several things.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I would say, and I guess it's kind of along the same line. But I think the biggest thing I would say to myself first is, um, that that it's okay. It may have its um, ups and downs. You may be frustrated at times, and like it may not look like what you're thinking it's going to look like. Or you're not going to have a path that you you may think you want, but um, it can wind up being better. Um,
Yes.
and that, even in the hard times, sometimes it winds up being better than what you think it might be in the moment when it seems like the most frustrating.
Yeah.
It will be better.
Yeah.
Um, and I would say also, because for me, I tend to be hard on myself a lot, and I would say, don't be too hard on yourself, you know, uh, and give room for that grace. I would say also that there's more people that support you than you realize.
Mm.
Because I always thought it was sort of like me against, these things and, being bullied and stuff like that. But, I have great friends, a great community, and, those are things that I would tell myself that you'll have from it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I think a lot of what I tell my younger self, so the next part kind of has to do with things that I would tell myself that would surprise the heck out of a younger me. And that would be, in a nutshell, it's um, you you find lots of blessing in the unknown of it. Because one of the things that I found is every time Turner syndrome has pushed me out of my comfort zone, whether it was sharing about it really publicly, whether it was the surgeries I've had to have, which is scary for me. I don't like have a panic attack or anything, but I'm also not like I don't like it. It's not my favorite. And I get really nervous. Like when I was younger, you probably could have called it white coat syndrome. Like I was completely compliant, personable with the doctor, like not ever affecting my behavior, but I was just nervous.
Yeah.
And as an adult, I've almost been able to embrace it and feel so much more confident walking into the doctor's office and kind of give myself a pep talk of like, I don't have to be scared of whatever's going to happen in here. It's okay. And
Yeah.
I don't have to be scared of Turner syndrome. Like, I don't have to be scared of that part of me. And it's not something I need to hide or feel weird or bad about in any way. There's actually
Yeah.
things to embrace in that. And, you know, what people don't understand, they're not going to understand. And nothing you do is going to change that. So why let that affect your life? If they're going to choose to
True.
behave in a way that is just not any way even understanding the situation properly, then that's not something I can even control.
True. True. I would say, um, as far as what might surprise me is when, like when I was younger, what I thought would be probably things that would be the biggest weaknesses
Mm.
have actually become the biggest strengths in a way. I guess is how I would put it. And so like what you think might be your weakness actually is sort of your superpower.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how I like to think about it. And doing stuff like just doing the hard things sometimes,
Yeah.
or challenging yourself or, you know, uh, like writing, going ahead and writing a book, telling your story, doing a podcast, creating a television company,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, all those things that you think, wow, that's going to be a lot, or am I able to do that, or just using the experiences and then really turning it into like a strength and not just, oh, well, this is the sad part of my story or the,
Yeah.
tragic part of the story, you know.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say most surprising. Be like, you can actually use this and it be like your superpower is how I
Yeah.
like to put it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Another thing I would say that would probably surprise me also is short jokes do eventually begin to not matter to you.
no,
Like, I can't even count how many short jokes I've heard and like just comments, and it's like, I'm 34 years old now. Like, tell me something I haven't heard before. Because I've heard pretty much all of them, so it's not like you can surprise me.
exactly. And I will usually be like one of the first people to crack a short joke, and I truly I will. Um, and some people are just like shocked, like, what? You're making fun of your height? I'm like, why not?
I mean,
I gotta laugh somehow. I mean, like,
it's either that. So, another thing I would say is you don't have to take every aspect of it seriously because I feel like when I was younger, I nitpicked so much. And
yeah,
it's okay to just laugh at it.
yeah, yeah. I think sometimes you just have to be able to laugh.
Yeah.
Um, and I took things very seriously when I was a kid. And being teased or hearing short jokes, that was um it was really hurtful. And I can tell now of like when somebody does a joke where whether it's coming from a place of like somebody's just being mean and honestly you know a grown bully,
Yeah.
or just in good humor, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but now I have the self-confidence to be like, I don't care, crack a short joke, like whatever.
Yeah.
I've heard them all. I'm just like, if you're gonna crack a short joke though, make it good
Yeah.
and try
At
and see if
least
you
make
can
it
tell
funny.
one I have not heard before.
Yes.
So
One of my friends actually I don't remember how old I was at this point, but old enough that I already kind of felt like I don't think there's literally any short joke ever thought of I haven't heard yet at this point. And he made it a challenge to himself to find one I hadn't heard.
yeah,
Like he was
I'm
challenging
like, if
himself
you
like,
can do
"Oh,
that,
I'm going to tell you one you haven't heard." I'm like, "Okay, good luck with that." And I mean, I I always felt like because I understand for me, I always felt like I had to like show strength. And
yeah,
so I wanted to defend myself. I wanted to, not let the short jokes make it demeaning and like that doesn't mean I'm strong. I may be small, but trust me, you don't want to deal with me because I'm stronger than you're thinking I am. And
right,
and so that meant I had to put on this strong demeanor instead of kind of just laughing along. And as I got older it became like, well, now it's just funny how surprised by it you are. Like somebody going, wow, you're really short. And I'm like, what what I am? Why didn't anyone tell me? Why did no one tell me?
exactly,
There goes my basketball career. Thanks, guys.
yeah, yeah. Going, all right, who? Where's the rest of my height? I'm just like,
Who took it?
okay, okay, guys, this isn't funny anymore. I want the rest of my height back. Okay.
Oh my goodness. It's just like, I feel like that's a more constructive way to deal with it than
Hmm.
taking it more seriously and like letting it get to me.
Right. Yeah.
But as
Yeah.
a kid, oh, I was not able to do that.
Yeah. No, it was completely different story when I was a kid. So yeah, I would probably have to tell my younger self, like, go ahead and let him crack a joke.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, know that you're stronger than and they know, and
yeah,
don't worry about short jokes.
yeah. I feel like
Just have fun with it.
I feel like a lot of that would also apply to just the general insecurities around either being short or dealing with medical stuff or whatever, like just not being what you would call the normal in things.
Right.
So much like embarrassment of it. Like I used to be
Yeah.
embarrassed. I used to feel shy and maybe a little insecure about like, oh, I can't reach that thing up there that everybody else seems to be able to reach, but I can't and I need help. So it was embarrassing. Like if people were around, I would feel a little more embarrassed and, kind of feel like there was a spotlight on me having to use something to get it off or something. Now, I don't care. Like, look, it's either
Yeah.
that or you get it for me, so you decide.
Yeah. Right.
Like whatever, it's got to come down some way. This is my only way, so unless you're gonna grab it,
Especially grocery shopping. I,
yes.
I just like, you know, I'm like, I don't care if I need to climb those shelves. I'll climb the shelf. Either if
Well,
you
I'm
go ahead
very
and grab that
creative
for me,
with it.
that's great. Or or yeah, I will hop on this cart and I will then scale the shelves and I will find my way to get that item.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're gonna look, look.
Um,
But if you're gonna be here, at least be helpful and grab it for me if you don't want to watch me do this.
yeah. Oh, I just gotta love that when people are just like staring, watching you, as I'm like,
I know. It's like,
ah,
do you think you could help a little?
and they're just like standing there, and they're like, and then and then I've had this happen, and then I'm struggling to get the item. I finally get the item, and I'm climbing down. As I'm climbing down, they're like, "Did you want any help?" I'm like, "You were just watching me struggle to get the item, and you wait until I've
Already
gotten the
done.
item to
Yeah.
like, oh, did you need help? Well, thanks for staring and watching. I hope it was entertaining and you got your money's worth."
I mean, I can see it. It's just also funny because it's like, well, what do you expect me to do? I have to function somehow.
I know. I'm like,
So
maybe
don't
then
have
they'll put
a,
the item that I want on the very top shelf and put it lower for me. I don't
don't
know.
have a tall assistant that goes everywhere with me that can just grab anything I need.
Right.
Like, that's not
Either
a
that or I'll be like,
thing.
well, I left my go-go gadget legs and my go-go gadget arms at home. I forgot them. I
Darn.
apologize.
Oops. My bad.
Sorry. Can't quite reach that. My bad.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, those things just as I got older, that I used to be so insecure about it, and now I just don't care. Like it's not embarrassing to
Yeah.
me anymore. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. What are you gonna do about it?
Yeah. Exactly.
It
Like,
is what it
okay.
is.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I guess that just
Exactly.
comes with like you live more of your life with those things so they become less they become less cumbersome. You learn to deal with them better. But also I think they
Right.
just become so normal to you that it's like, well, yeah, this is my life.
Yeah. Gotta do what I gotta do. If I gotta dive into the washer and dryer because I can't quite reach and pull the clothes out, if I gotta
Yeah.
dive inside my washer, I will go dive inside my washer to pull
Yeah.
I'm like, I just gotta do what I gotta do.
Yeah. Well, that's why I asked and we tried to look at front loading washer and dryer so that I didn't have to deal with that. But we're doing gas appliances, and they don't really make them in gas appliances, really.
I
So
wish
it's
they would.
so it's like they're more difficult to find or more expensive. It just didn't work out ending up getting some. The ones we found that we
Yeah.
liked weren't that, and I'm like, okay, I'll deal with it. It's just funny though because it was specifically for that reason. And I'm like, can we get front loading?
Yeah. Yeah. I will have to say I am getting to that point that, my back does not appreciate it when I'm diving on there.
Well, and then
And I'm
there was the
like,
time that I like slipped a rib trying to, and I'm like, okay, this is silly.
yeah. Yeah. I'm like, now I'm gonna be hurting myself. Um, but yeah, I currently thankfully have front loading washer and dryer that I can use. But my other one before I moved, they were not. And so if I can find a good pair when I move and I need it to get another set, I'm hopefully gonna get a front loading. Um, but it just depends. But that's my goal, ideally with the front loading because I'm like, yeah, the diving thing is probably not gonna work very much longer because
Hey, my
like
bones
you were
aren't
saying,
great
a
as it
back, a
is,
rib, yeah.
so that's just gonna probably quicken the rate at which I have
Hmm.
bone issues. So, thankfully,
Yeah, yeah.
I have some things that help me, whether it's using something to grab them, the stool. I still use a stool for things.
Oh, it's my best friend.
Yeah. And I I think part of that is just like finding your tools that help you with whatever you need to do. There's
Yeah,
there's very little things that I run into not being able to figure out, but for the things that I have to do a little bit extra, as I've gotten older, I really have found like the things that really help me.
yeah. I was much more self-conscious as a kid, and I'm a stubborn person, and I part of it's that whole like feeling as normal
Yeah,
as I can.
yeah,
But when I was a kid, when I was younger, if I could avoid having, I mean, I would if I needed to, but if I could avoid having to use like a step stool or something,
yeah.
because I couldn't reach it, I didn't like having to ask someone. I don't necessarily like having to ask someone for help, but I'm
I
much
just don't want to
more,
be annoying about it. Like, I don't want to get to the point where it's like every 5 minutes I'm asking them.
yeah, exactly. But I had to be like, either I ask for help or I climb these shelves, and which one do I feel like doing today?
Yeah.
Um, and so, if I can find somebody, but yeah, I know it is because I have run into those people that will give you kind of a look like, why are you bothering me? And I feel bad, but I'm just like, I can't help it. I need your help. Can you reach that?
Like, this is not within my control here. Yeah,
Right.
there have been times where within one night I've stopped calling Andrew out and just grabbed a chair or something after 3 times of asking him to come out and get something for me. So like I feel bad at the idea of asking him to come out and grab it again. But yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
the way I would phrase it is I learned the lesson that Halloween Town tells us. Being normal is vastly overrated.
It is. It is. It is. Which is
I
another thing that I've learned as I've gotten older. But normal and, being normal and having a normal life, like what's that? Like
yeah, I don't even feel like that really exists
that's
because
overrated.
everybody
Yeah.
has their things that are abnormal and those things that people would consider normal.
Yeah. So I'm just like, no, I'm just gonna do me, you know, and that's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was trying trying so much as a kid, even when it comes to driving, like because when I started to drive too, I wanted to feel normal, like, okay, yeah, I know I'm shorter, I might have to be really close to the steering wheel, but if I can like, touch the pedals and not need extensions or whatever, I felt some sense of normalcy. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm tall enough that I don't need that. And technically, that's still the case, but I have to be right up against the steering wheel. And I finally decided, I was like, you know what? If I'm in an accident, it's probably not the smartest thing.
Yeah.
I probably should not worry about it so much and just use extensions to kind of be a little bit more comfortable, give me more room,
Yeah.
and then I don't
My
have to be right up
mom
against the steering wheel.
my mom used to get on to me about that because instead of like propping myself up with something when I first started driving, because when I first started driving, one, seats were not as adjustable as they are now. Like
Right.
they had their limit. And so I couldn't reach comfortably all the way forward on my own, anyways. And so instead of trying without it, she would get mad at me and say, no, that's not safe and you need to do it correctly. You're going to end up getting hurt. Because she's an insurance agent, so she sees all of the horrible car accident stuff and she's like, no, no. And she always reminds me to put the
Yeah.
steering wheel down because otherwise it's right in my face, which is not the safe position.
Yeah. I do that too.
And
I
things
drop
that if
my
you're not as short as we are, you don't have to worry about.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. But yeah, we do. It's crazy all the things that we have to think about sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I now I'm thankful for them. But yeah, cars are so much better these days than when I started driving because
They're so much
the
more
seats are way
customizable.
more. Oh yeah, way more adjustable, way easier to customize. I know the car that I first started driving on, the pedals were like really far in.
Mm,
And nowadays, the pedals aren't nearly as far into the car as they were when I was driving.
yeah,
And especially the first car that I learned on, it was a boat basically. It was so big to me. Um, but yeah, it was like I forget what the model was. It was a Chevy, but it was a big like sedan. But yeah, it was like driving a boat. It was big to me. And yeah, the pedals were in the floorboard. They were way back in there. So much better these days.
yeah,
Um, so I am glad about that.
yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like in technology advancing, some of that has made some of those things easier, like cars adjusting and even even like technology with smart home stuff where like I we don't have anything like this. Well, me and Andrew don't right now, but there are things like you can adjust shades, curtains, you can adjust fans without having to try to because I don't know if you've dealt with it. I'm sure probably, but I the number of times I've spent like 5 minutes jumping to try to reach the cord on the fan to adjust it or something is insane.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
like having those types of technologies is amazing also because I don't have to do that.
I know. It's not the simple things that have finally kind of made things much more convenient.
Yeah.
Actually, the fans in my place, I got two fans in my place, and I had extensions added on to them.
Oh yeah.
So, uh, which is another thing which is handy. But
Yeah.
yeah, I had extensions added onto them so they're longer. So I can pull them pretty easily now. Otherwise, yeah, I'd have to get one of my tall step stools or something like that
Yeah.
to get to it. Or yeah, I'm just jumping up and down like
Yeah.
ah,
I want to take just a second to talk about Butterfly Entertainment's Black Friday deals. This week, we have Black Friday deals now through December 1st, and everything is 20% off. You can use code Black Friday 2025 to get 20% off all of our membership plans, and you can gift a membership to somebody. You can also get 20% off all of the merch in our merch store and give the gift of story. So you can head to the link in the show notes to check out all the deals and take advantage of the 20% off through December 1st. When I was little, my brothers, because my brothers are all much taller than me, and so they would come in and see me like jumping for the thing and trying to get it, or I would grab the pinchers from the fire set from by the fireplace and pinch the cord with it and pull,
yep,
and it
yep,
worked. So I would grab a
yeah,
lot of things with those pinchers. My mom always knew if they weren't by the fireplace, she would go, Brooke, where'd you put them? Because she knew I would have been the one to grab them to get something I couldn't reach.
oh yeah, I would look for something like that too. Um, but yeah, I yeah, I'm thankful for that. That's another thing that I tell myself like technology is gonna improve. Things will get easier. Things will get better.
Yeah,
And you learn to adapt. You do. You learn to adapt. You learn to adjust. You just accommodate.
yeah.
So yeah. What else would you tell yourself?
I think I would tell my younger self that I don't have to compensate for the ways that I feel like Turner syndrome makes me feel like I need to compensate. Whether that's in my abilities, whether that's in the way I function, whether that's in the value I feel like I have, the self esteem, trying to earn or be enough, be what's expected of me to be, because I feel like I put a lot of that on myself. And because of that,
Yeah.
every little way I didn't meet up those standards or whatever just felt that much bigger instead of embracing my strengths. Like, yeah, I suck at math. I'm never going to be good with numbers. But give me a book
Yeah.
report and I can write it in about 5 minutes, 3 to 5 pages, formatted properly with amazing insights into that book. So, tell you what,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's my strengths and that's not my strengths. And I, I felt so much like I needed to make up for the ways in which I didn't meet whatever standard I thought I needed to, that I missed out on appreciating the things I am good at.
Yeah. That's a good point. That is a really good point. Um, and I think that's one that probably quite a few of us TS girls can relate to. Feeling like we just have to kind of, overcompensate or, um, try and prove ourselves because we feel like might struggle with feeling like not capable in certain areas and just feel like, oh, well, I have this. I just need to prove myself. And I'll tell you, as a kid, not even just with like school and stuff like that, but I was super focused on that because I felt like that was the one area. And like, math and stuff were probably like my least strongest subjects, but I was a pretty good student. And like, I was good with reading and writing and, um, those things, not as much with math or geography and stuff, but
Yeah.
I was overall a pretty good student and I focused on that because I was like, once I realized that I could do that and be pretty good at it, that to me was a mechanism to kind of compensate for one and also make me feel like, oh, kind of validate me.
Yeah.
But um, you know, uh, it's okay because it's okay if math isn't my strong suit. I thought it was kind of ironic when I became a pharmacy technician though and had to do formulas for pharmacy. Um, but
Did you ever have
it was
moments
kind
of anxiety with that? Like, was there any time that
oh
it gave you
yes.
anxiety over getting the numbers wrong?
Oh yes. Oh yes. And but one of the things that I actually didn't know that was going to be a strength that I struggled with, but I felt like helped was because I'm very analytical.
Hmm.
So if I have the ability and the time to really like take the time to focus, I'm like hyper focused. And so fortunately, very little. Like once so one, there becomes a lot of repetitiveness, which is actually a good thing for me in formulas because I was dispensing, once you kind of got used to them, I was dispensing a lot of the same similar medication.
Yeah.
So the adjustment to dosage or whatever um, wasn't too bad. It was the initial kind of learning what those were, but that helped. And then also the analytical side. Like if I could just slow down enough to make sure that it's right, then I would dispense correctly. And I didn't have a error in any of the time I was there.
That's awesome.
I was there like almost 9 years. But the problem that hindered me was because it slowed my productivity down. So I wasn't, it was quality over quantity.
Mm. Yeah.
And so that's where the struggle was finding a balance to try and get more of the quantity.
Yeah.
But, I felt it was more important to make sure that what I was dispensing was correct because that could hurt a patient. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, yeah. So, um, but some of the things that you think that you know you weren't the strongest in when you're a kid, often sometimes like find myself that's kind of the stuff that gets used these that I'm using more.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I would say probably I would encourage myself, my younger self, with my math skills too, because oh gosh, I just felt so much dread and anxiety over math from very early, like very, very young. By
Mm,
first, second grade, it was very clear how much of a struggle math was for me, and I was already feeling the anxiety over it. And like, not that I didn't try and didn't want to try, it just did not, my brain just doesn't work that way. And so as I got into like middle school, high school, it constantly felt like this cloud over my head every time because I'm like, I just got to survive it. I just got to get through it. And I think I felt so much like, is this going to be my doom? Like, is this going to feel this way for the rest of my life? And it hasn't. Like, after I finished, I remember the very last day I ever was in a math class. I walked out. I knew I was done and I was just praying, like, I hope I did enough to pass so I never have to take a math class again. And I did. And I was like throwing a party. But if I didn't pass that time, I would have had to delay graduating. And so I was also thinking, I swear, if math is the reason this becomes a problem, go figure, and I'm going to be so mad.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
it just, I spent so many years feeling like it was this cloud over me that I probably would encourage myself for like, after you get through that, it doesn't feel like that afterwards. And you can function in life at the level of math skills you've gotten. Like, it's okay. You're gonna make it.
This this is true. This is true.
In
Like
anything,
it will be okay.
yeah, like you'll be okay. You'll be able to survive with the math skills you have, even though you feel like you have none. And I just know my limits with it. Like, I will never ever try to do my own taxes ever. Not even a thought in my head. I don't care how much it costs. I'm never going to even attempt. So, yeah.
And and that is okay. And I'm glad that I'm done with uh done with it too, but I'm just like I was able to get what I needed at some point. I was able to it clicked,
Yeah.
but um it was never my strongest, but I was able to pass.
Yeah.
Um and so I'm just like, well, I didn't need all this math that I wasn't like when I went to college and stuff like that, and I was deciding like my math courses and things like that. I was like, and as I got into working and stuff like that, I'm like, I don't need all of that.
Yeah, not all of it, no. Not, especially not like college level, like some of the college level math
Mm-mm.
classes I took. I'm like, I will never use this. Not
No,
not in
no,
the field I'm in. There are fields you would use that in. That is never going to be a job I get. So
right, yeah,
I'm good. I'm okay. It's not even going to be
I'm
something I would ever pursue, so we're good.
exactly, exactly,
And I've gotten very comfortable with, like, I just know my limits with it. And I think I felt really insecure about it when I was younger. Like, not only did I feel this, like, dread over it, and it kind of felt like a big weight on me, but I was also really insecure about it. And now I'm just like, I know my limits. I know how I function, I know
yeah,
how I don't. And, like, I just do what I need to do. It doesn't stop me from functioning in life. I just know what I need to
that's
do
true.
to work around it.
Yep, that's
So,
true.
and I've become a lot more
Yeah,
confident in that too. Like, I can admit it. Like, I homeschool my kids. I don't teach them the math.
yeah,
I did start out doing a course that was much more me teaching heavy for it, and I could have kept going. It's not like they're at, I mean, they're 6 and 8. It's not like they're at a level I don't know how to do. But I also
yeah,
started feeling like it was taking, because it takes so much more mental work for me already just to do the
yeah,
math myself, that I'm like, I have to do that plus try to teach it. And teaching a concept, I feel like takes me forever in a way that gives them constructive foundations in it. Like, I just like, I'd rather not have to put all of that brain work into just that one subject and actually enjoy teaching the other subjects that I do feel confident in.
yeah, yeah.
Like, it just wasn't worth the brain effort it took for me to force myself to think in math terms enough to teach it. Plus, I know
Yeah, I
very
can
quickly they're
understand
going to get
that.
to a point where I don't feel confident, and I'm like, I don't want them to get my math issues. So, yeah.
I can appreciate that. Yes.
Just
Yeah.
again, I can admit my limits. So,
I probably would do the same thing. Mhm.
I will teach history, I will teach reading all day long.
Yeah.
All day
Yeah.
long. Just don't give me math.
Right.
just yeah, almost any other subject really, because I love
Yeah.
science is really fun. Like the other ones, I'm golden.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, especially doing like science experiments and things like that could be fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, math, that's a whole other thing.
So, what else do you think you would tell your younger self?
Oh, let me think. Let's see, what else would I tell my younger self? Um, I would tell my younger self, um, I think the most important thing is, yeah, it's okay to be you,
Mm,
you know, and I always, I mean, I was so self-conscious about being short and, it's just feeling like it was something I did wrong.
yeah.
And, those are things too that I would tell myself. Like, you may feel these things, but it's not true.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's okay and it's okay to be you. So, yes, that's what I would tell my younger self. Because I mean, it took a long time to kind of get to a place where I felt more like that, but I wish it was sooner than it was. And I felt like I didn't hear that enough as a kid. So I think that's what I would what else I would tell myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's huge because there's just so much Turner syndrome feels like it takes from you that, you know, I feel like so many of my insecurities came from just grasping at trying to feel normal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I got so like upset about not having my period yet. Because I'm like,
Yeah.
but all of my friends are. And my mom's like, honey, you're not missing out on anything. Trust me, you'll have it for plenty of years of your life. And I'm like, but they all do. Like, I just wanted to
Yeah.
feel normal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like that's a lot of what most of my insecurities have been stemming from is just that desire to feel normal and feel like things didn't feel like so much more work than everybody else. Like I'm getting to the
Right.
same part, but it's taking me so much more work and effort to get there than it feels like everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I think the final thing I would tell my younger self is because I was telling no one that I had Turner syndrome when I was younger. Like maybe a few very close friends. And it wasn't something I really advertised at all. And I think to some extent, it was out of a just being unsure how people would even react. Like it's an obscure, not very well known genetic condition. Like second graders aren't gonna know how to handle that if you were to tell one of them that you had. Like that's just not
Yeah.
going. That's going to lead to just potentially not great moments of
Yeah.
like, I don't even know what to do with this. And
Yeah.
so I never did really, maybe partially because I was so young and I don't even know if I knew how to explain it. And I would encourage myself that you can and do get blessings from embracing and sharing the story God has given you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a good point. And I was kind of like that too. There was one year, I want to say, was it my sixth grade year? I think it might have been my sixth grade year. Um, when I finally kind of did a book. Um, and it was a small book, and I actually did it for my well, I did it for my class as part of a project. Um, and I decided because they wanted us to do kind of a story about ourselves, and I decided to take that moment as an opportunity to talk about Turner syndrome. So I did Turner syndrome and me. So basically, I documented the different things that I had to do when I would go for a visit when I was younger and I was going to Houston still. And, um, I had different pictures taken with showing, like, well, when I go, they have to draw my blood. This is how many vials that they would have to draw. And, I had a picture with me and my pediatric endocrinologist and just kind of telling the story of my day.
Mm-hmm.
So people will kind of get an idea of I'm more than, just like you see that I'm short, but here's what I go through.
Yeah.
And I think it was the first time that I really felt like students kind of connected with me on that. And where, the teasing and stuff got slightly better because I think they really actually kind of took an interest into, oh, I didn't know that you did all that,
Yeah.
that you had to go through all that. And my mom came into class too um, for that and, um, gave me a shot in front of the class to talk about, that I take growth hormone and this is, I have to take a shot, 6 times a week is what I think I was doing that at the time. And so, you know, at least for that year, when I got to junior high, whole new set of people and students, and it was seventh grade, and
And
so that
hormones
was a
start
rough
being
year.
introduced then.
Yeah,
Which adds a whole lot of
but
complicated emotions.
yes, but that was the first time that I really shared anything about TS or that this is, or saying like this is specifically why I'm short.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm glad that I did it, but I was so shy to talk about it up until then. But it really did at the time. It did a lot to kind of help. Um, but it was sort of a you know first kind of like a process for me to kind of work through my own feelings about having Turner syndrome more than even just like sharing with my classmates. Because even in like um, when I was a kid, I just kind of tried to ignore it as if I didn't have it in a way. Like I
Yeah.
knew I was short, but I just wanted to be normal so much that I just kind of tried to convince myself that like, this is, you know, uh, over here. And
Yeah, it almost feels like a
I'm
double
glad,
life.
yeah, yeah. And just kind of act like, you know, um, I didn't have it or compartmentalize it and, just kind of put it out when I didn't need it. And just
Yeah.
like, yeah, I would have Turner syndrome when I had to go to my checkups. But other than that, no.
Yeah.
And, or when I had to take my growth hormone shots, but I didn't even talk about that. Um, so very few people honestly knew. Um, like only probably a few of my friends really knew. And so I would, that was sort of like really kind of healing in a way. It was my first kind of like start to kind of open up within myself too
Yeah.
and think about all that I do go through. So
Yeah.
um that was sort of in my way at that time. It wasn't necessarily a letter to myself, but in a way it kind of was. It just really kind of was a process of me kind of opening up to myself and just looking and it's like, oh. But yeah, it was kind of healing. But
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, that you know, it's I think it's important though, because like it's not easy, and there's times where it's okay to not be okay and to
Yeah.
be frustrated about it.
Yeah.
But I've but I think that how I'm looking at now and how that kind of helped me start shifting perspective is, there's been quite a bit of good that's come out of having it, more than I would say the bad.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think for me, I had the similar experience with starting my YouTube channel because that was kind of my
Hmm.
first time of publicly in that way sharing. And that first time, I remember I was so scared when I first uploaded the video saying the words Turner syndrome. I don't know what I thought the comments were going to be like, but that unknown scared the life out of me. And so to
Hmm.
have the response to it be polar opposite, like exact opposite, just so many women and girls going, "Oh my gosh, me too." That was so like that was healing, like you said. Like it was so
Yeah,
healing to be like, "Oh my gosh. Not only do I have these others that know this experience, but it did like I survived telling the world like I made it through. It was okay.
yeah,
The world did not end with me sharing that part of me. And in fact, it brought a lot of good. A lot of good I was missing out
yeah,
on by not talking about it.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so, yeah, I feel like there's so much healing in that. And just like
yeah,
it shifts your perspective because it's all of a sudden
yeah,
it's yeah, not this separate thing. It's a okay, now it almost makes you feel more whole with it because it's like it's not all of me, but that is a part of me.
yeah, yeah. And to be able to kind of, come to terms with that and accept that and know that it's a part of you. And I do think like it has made things better in that
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah. I think it helped prepare me for being able to also heal through infertility because that
yeah,
was probably the other scariest big unknown I had at that point. And that was just when we were starting to figure things out. And I, I was so scared and didn't even know what my emotions would be like. And so just to be able to process that in that way also, like not
yeah,
feel alone in it.
yeah,
Because when you share with others, it brings that community where all of a sudden you aren't by yourself in it and you don't feel like you're fighting through it alone.
yeah. And I think that's a other thing that, I would also be sure to remind myself, like, because I felt much more when I was younger, like I was fighting alone.
Yeah.
Um, but that's not forever,
Yeah.
and that you know we're not fighting this alone. But yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, those are some good thoughts.
Yeah, I love this. I think my younger self would
Yeah,
absolutely benefit from hearing that.
yes, me too. Yeah, and I would be curious what other people would tell their younger selves.
Yes. Yeah, I would love to hear if you guys listening have anything specific this has made you think of that you would tell your younger self now, having gone through everything you've gone through at this point. Like, what would you want your younger self just finding out that you have Turner syndrome to know after you've gone through even just
Yeah,
your journey up to this point? I would love to hear if you want to share in the comments.
yes, yes. So if you do have, things that you would tell your younger self, feel free to share those with us. Let us know. what you would tell your younger self, and we would look forward to reading those and hearing those.
Yeah.
So I think that would be fun.
Yeah, I think it's a good exercise. A good mental exercise.
Yeah, I think it's been fun to think about, interesting to kind of go back and think about like how we were back then and what we would share now. I mean,
Yeah.
I like that challenge
Yeah.
because I hadn't thought about it in a while. So
Yeah. I feel like it
I think
really puts
that's
into perspective where you are now,
yeah,
and like, because sometimes it can feel like it's just you're trying to survive, trying to make it through everything, and you kind of can lose yourself in the weeds of, lose the forest for the
yeah,
trees. You're so trying to
yeah,
make it through that you don't always take the opportunity to see the benefit of the whole journey.
yes,
So,
absolutely, absolutely.
yeah. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. And if you have any
Me,
future episode ideas, let us know.
yes. Any thoughts on any topics or anything you'd like to have us dive into or talk about or revisit?
Yeah.
Um, let us know.
Yeah. And we will talk to you guys next week.
We'll talk to you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
The Coffee and Turner Syndrome podcast is a Butterfly Entertainment production. You can keep up with the Coffee and Turner Syndrome podcast on Instagram at Coffee and Turner Syndrome podcast. You can keep up with all of Butterfly Entertainment's podcasts, YouTube videos, films, and other projects on our Instagram page. We are at Butterfly Entertainment Group. Thanks for listening.